Hello students, good morning. Welcome in today's class. In last class we had derived steady flow energy equation. This is the equation which we had derived. So this is the total energy level at inlet and this is the total energy level at outlet of the system. Now I had told you that we will deduce some important things from this equation. So let us continue with this equation. So as I had told you that in this equation the each energy is for per unit mass of the working fluid. It means this enthalpy indicating in this equation for per unit mass of the working fluid, and this kinetic energy per unit mass of the working fluid, this is the potential energy per unit mass of the working fluid, and this is the heat supplied or heat transferred to the system per unit mass of the working fluid. But if we know the rate of flow of mass, suppose m is the rate of flow of mass, means m kg mass per second is flowing through the system, then simply by multiplying with m on both sides of this equation we will get that rate of flow of energy, because it is the flow of energy per unit mass, and in 1 second m mass is flowing, so m into energy per unit mass means this much energy is flowing through the system per second. At the inlet per second this much energy is entering, simply by multiplying by mass on both sides, and this quantity will give us the energy coming out per second from the system, and this both will be equal. But now question is, how we will get this mass? This is very simple. In fluid mechanics we have already studied that continuity equation. So this is a continuity equation. Rate of flow of mass is equal to, at any section, can be found out by using this continuity equation. A1 rho 1 V1. A1 is the cross section area of that point. Rho 1 is the density of flowing fluid at that point or that section, and V1 is the velocity of flowing fluid of that section. But due to steady flow, the section, inlet section, this quantity rate of flow of mass will be equal to at outlet rate of flow of mass. So let us little bit modify this for our interest. Let us take this density in denominator. So we can write this 1 by rho 1, and similarly here we can write this 1 by rho 2. So we know that 1 by rho 1 is the specific volume. So we can write this Vs1, and 1 by rho 2 is the specific volume at outlet, and we can write this here. So in this way m can be easily found out from the available data what we have utilized in developing this equation. So this is the important note number 1, energy flow rate at inlet and outlet, and this is the important note number 2, mass can be found out by this equation. And third note, very important note, we will more standardize this energy equation. We have already derived this equation. I am simply writing equation here, steady flow energy, but we had derived here. Now I am rearranging this equation. I am taking work done by system this side and all the other types of energy and enthalpy this side. So what we are seeing that this is the change in enthalpy of the system, and this is the change in kinetic energy of the system, and this is the change in potential energy of the system. So Q12 minus W12 is equal to change in change in enthalpy of the system, change in kinetic energy of the system, change in potential energy of the system. So this equation is analog of the equation energy equation for non-flow process, that is the first law of thermodynamics. Heat supplied minus work done by the system is equal to change in internal energy. But in place of internal energy, in flow process, we will get change in all these types of energy. This includes potential energy. This includes internal energy. Change in enthalpy includes internal energy, and all these types of. So this is the analog of the first law of thermodynamics, or energy equation for the non-flow equation. This is the analog of this equation. So this equation can be easily remembered, and for our convenience we can use this equation when we will solve the flow process for finding out different parameters, unknown parameters. After deduction from steady flow energy equation, let us come on few application of steady flow energy equation to various engineering devices. First we see boiler. This is the boiler system, and this is the boundary of the system. Boiler contains water and steam both. So this is the inlet of the boiler. From the inlet, water enters in the boiler, and that water converts into steam, and from outlet steam comes out from air. And for doing all these changes, heat is supplied to the boiler. So what is a boiler? It is a device in which heat is supplied to the water and steam is generated. Very simple. So in this device, there is no change in kinetic energy of the working fluid at inlet and outlet, and also there is negligible change of potential energy, or you can say no change of potential energy at inlet and outlet. So change in kinetic energy in boiler system and potential energy is zero. And also we can understand that there is no any type of work is done by the system. Okay, there is no any type of work done by the system. So this is the flow process, steady flow process. So when we apply steady flow energy equation here, I am writing this equation in this format here for our convenience. Heat supplied minus work done is equal to change in enthalpy plus change in kinetic energy plus change. But what we have observed that change in kinetic energy here is zero, and change in potential energy is also zero, and there is no work done by the system. So this steady flow energy equation turns for this boiler like this: Q12 minus 0, work done 0, this 0, this 0, sorry, and this is not 0, delta H plus 0. So finally we get heat supplied is equal to change in enthalpy. So this is the steady flow energy equation. We can say that this is the steady flow energy equation for boiler. So what we are observing in this equation, that heat supplied to the system in boiler increases the enthalpy of the system. So this is the first application what we have seen in the boiler, steady flow energy equation application. Let us see more application of this equation in devices. This is the evaporator. This is evaporator used in refrigerant plants. Not necessary in refrigerant plant, wherever refrigeration is necessary. Like in our AC, it is used. In our domestic refrigerator, it is used evaporator. So the cooled working fluid pass through this, and this evaporator cool the system wherever cooling is required. It absorbs the heat from the system. Like in our AC, the indoor unit contains this evaporator, through which fan air comes by touching this and cool our room. So let us come on the matter. This is the evaporator unit, and this is the boundary of the system. And this is the inlet of the evaporator, this is the outlet of the evaporator. At the inlet, liquid refrigerant in cooled form, and this refrigerant pass through evaporator and absorb the heat of the system surrounding, and again this evaporator come out from this outlet, from the system, outlet of the system in the vapor form. So it is a device which is used in refrigerant plants, and as I have already told that a liquid refrigerant passes through this device at inlet, that receives heat from system and leaves a vapor refrigerant at outlet. So as we can observe that the change in kinetic energy and potential energy, no matter here. So change in kinetic energy and potential energy at inlet and outlet will be zero, and also there is no any type of work is done by the system. So when this is the flow system, steady flow system, so we can apply easily a steady flow energy equation to evaporator. That is, this is the equation, Q12 minus W12 is equal to change in kinetic energy plus change in potential energy plus change in enthalpy. In our case, in this evaporator, change in kinetic energy is 0, change in potential energy is 0, and work done by the system is 0. So this steady flow energy equation, this is the general equation of steady flow energy, turns for this evaporator like this. Heat supply is to change in enthalpy, same like boiler. So this, we can say that this is a steady flow energy equation for the evaporator. So the above equation is steady flow energy equation for the evaporator, which indicates that heat supplied to the system enhance the enthalpy of the refrigerant. So this is a second important application of steady flow energy equation, that is evaporator. Let us see 1-2 more examples of the application of this steady flow energy equation. And this is the third device where we will apply the steady flow energy equation, that is nozzle. It is very interesting. Nozzle is very interesting. Nozzle we are using in home for spray the high pressure, high velocity spray to our vehicles for washing our vehicles, and this nozzle is also used in turbine and number of places where we need high speed of the fluid. So what is the concept in this nozzle related with this steady flow energy equation? So this is the system boundary of the nozzle, and it is fully insulated, so there is no heat transfer in the system and leaving from the system. This is the inlet of the nozzle and this is the outlet of the nozzle. This is the shape of the nozzle. The approximate half of the nozzle are in the shape of convergent and the rest of the shape is like divergent. The increasing diameter and here is decreasing diameter along the flow, and this is the minimum diameter of the nozzle. So nozzle is a device which increases the velocity and hence kinetic energy of the working substance at the expense of its pressure drop. So its pressure, when energy will increase here, the pressure will drop. So here I am mentioning that at the expense of its pressure drop. So as I have already told that the nozzle is insulated so that no heat enters or leaves the system, that is heat transfer Q12 is equal to 0. So we can say that flow through nozzle is considered adiabatic. So flow through nozzle is adiabatic. There is no heat transfer in the system and from the system. And also the system of nozzle does not deliver any types of work. No work is being done here, any type of work. Only simply fluid is entering here and increasing the kinetic energy of fluid and coming out from this outlet. So there is no any type of work is delivered by the system. So W12 will also be 0. The change in potential energy will also be 0 here. So when we apply steady flow energy equation to the nozzle, we get, first I am writing this equation as it is in standard format. So here work done is 0, heat supplied is 0 and change in potential is 0. But change in kinetic energy is there because it is used for this purpose only, and change in enthalpy is there. So finally we are getting that change in kinetic energy plus change in enthalpy is equal to 0. Now again writing the change in kinetic energy in the form of formula and rearranging the equation, we get that V1 square by 2 plus H1 is equal to V2 square by 2 plus H2. As because the velocity of flow which is entering in the system, that is V1, is very less than the desired velocity of the flow which we are getting at the outlet of the system. So we can ignore this inlet velocity because it is very lesser, and on that it is square of that lesser quantity. So we can ignore this quantity, it is very smaller in this term. So using rest of quantities we get V2 is equal to under root 2 H1 minus H2. This is the final equation. This is the velocity of fluid coming from this nozzle. V2 is equal to under root in terms of change in enthalpy 2 under root 2 into H1 minus H2. H1 is the enthalpy at the inlet. So change in velocity will be increased, the velocity will increase in expense of this enthalpy. So enthalpy will reduce, and in expense of this reduction in enthalpy, this velocity will change. So in this way we have seen three of the important application of steady flow energy equation in various devices. Few more application like compressor, turbine, etc. we will see in next class. So I will also forward to you these notes what I have explained here. You have to fare this note properly. This will be your assignment when our college will reopen. I will see all these assignments. Okay, thank you friends.